Here I am tonight with Richard, and we're going to have a little talk about rosin. So, I'm going to take Richard's bow here. I'm going to talk about rosining your bow. You need to rosin your bow every time you play because new rosin, fresh, new, clean rosin, helps your bow stick to the string. Hypothetically, if you had brand new bow hair, which sometimes you get like a brand new bow, if there's zero rosin on it, it won't make a sound at all because the bow hair itself will not stick to the string. It'll just kind of skate on the string and it won't make any sound. So you need rosin to make a sound. Too much rosin or old rosin makes it sound scratchy. So we don't want that either. So the first thing is, when you rosin your bow, you want to make sure that usually you hold your bow in your right hand, especially if you're right-handed, which is also your bow hand. So I think it doesn't really matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. And then you're gonna rub your rosin on. Now, this is the part that a lot of kids neglect, and I can see this a little bit on Richard's bow. If you can kind of tell in the video, the hair down here is sort of a little grayish, little less bright white color than the hair up here. It means there's no rosin down here. And we will always want to get rosin. A lot of times the part of the bow that gets neglected is the very bottom and the very top. So when you're rosining, and you see professionals do this, they kind of try a little extra hard to get rosin at the top and the bottom. A lot of times kids get a lot of rosin in the middle and then sort of none. Now, if the bottom of the hair down there is like brown, it probably means your bow hair is old and you need new hair. His is not. His hair is fine. It's new hair. His hair is fine. He just needs a little more rosin down at the bottom. If you see a little bit of rosin dust flying off as you're rosining your bow, that's probably okay. You probably don't need more than maybe 3 to 5 swipes back and forth. It sort of depends. You have to kind of get used to your own personal rosin. When you play at first, after putting the rosin on the bow, you should see a little bit of rosin get on your violin. Now, here's part of why I wanted to do this video for Richard today was that we have a little bit too much rosin on your violin right now, and this is old rosin. So we want to make sure after every single time you play, you clean your rosin off because the rosin on the varnish will eventually ruin the varnish. I mean, it takes a long time. I'm not going to say that it's if you forget to clean the rosin off your violin, once or twice that your violin's ruined. It's not going to be like that, but I mean, eventually if you leave it on a lot, you'll have to have it professionally cleaned to get it off. Rosin on the fingerboard, if it gets too much, if it starts to fly sort of down in your finger area, or if you're playing a lot in upper positions, makes it really sticky and hard for you to slide around. So you don't want too much rosin in here. And rosin actually on the strings makes it scratchy. So you want to always clean all your rosin off. Richard, you don't have to watch this video because you're seeing me do this. This is for the other kids. Anyway, so you always want to kind of clean it off with a cloth. A dry, soft cloth. And I even like to sometimes clean the rosin a little bit off the bow stick. But if you do it like this, try not to wipe the cloth on the bow hair because then you're wiping all your rosin off if you touch it on there. That's actually, I want to say that's one other thing is that if you happen to have one of these rosins that's attached to a cloth.
Yeah, like these.
Yeah, if you have that, make sure when you're doing it, the cloth part is not touching onto the hair and wiping all the rosin off the side. I've seen kids do that where they're going like this and they're holding it like this and they're practically wiping all the rosin off that they're putting on. So you want to make sure. The other thing, this is a kind of like a teacher thing, is don't go like this. There's a metal part of your bow down here. It's called the ferrule. You do not want to take it and hit it on there every time, I said get it by the frog, because then you're going to break your rosin. It'll bump up against the metal thing and it'll break. Does that make sense? Okay, good.